then when you're ready, come back to center and choose your position for meditation. You'll see that I've changed location. I had an issue with the meditation in the recording, so I'm doing it again. So today's meditation is a breathing meditation, and I'm going to give you a bit of psychoeducation first. So make sure you're comfortable, sitting on the floor, sitting on a cushion or a block, sitting up tall. If you prefer to lie down, you absolutely can. But I'm going to start by talking to you about something called the vagus nerve. And it runs through all our viscera, so all our internal organs. And it's one of our main cranial nerves, and it sends and receives a lot of information throughout the body. Now, the vagus nerve is linked to our parasympathetic response, which is our kind of rest and digest mode. So it's a really important nerve in the body. And when the nerve is toned, sounds like you need to give it a bit of a workout, but when it's toned, it has the ability to activate our parasympathetic system and inhibit our sympathetic system, so our stress response. So it's a way of building up more resilience in the body, of dealing with day-to-day stresses. And even if we're suffering with a bit of more long-term anxiety, we can train the body through breath work to deal with it better. Now, if the vagus nerve isn't toned, then it may be through periods of chronic anxiety or stress, and the vagus nerve is then less able to pick up on slow, deep breathing, because we're not going to be breathing like that, and it's less able to deal with the stresses more as effectively as if it was toned. Now, the vagus nerve influences things like our heart rate and our respiratory system, and also our digestive system. So when we're calm, all of these things are working really, really well. Now, one way to tone the vagus nerve is through slow, deep breathing. So this is what we're going to be focusing on today. And we're going to be inhaling for 2 and exhaling for 4. And now we are going to build up to 3 and 6 and 4 and 8, but you may find you want to stop at 2 and 4. So close your eyes, settle in, make sure your spine is long if you're seated, and if you're lying down and your spine feels a bit uncomfortable and niggly, bend your knees and relax the shoulders. With your eyes closed, soften the face and the jaw. If you're familiar with Ujjayi breathing, then begin to connect with that. If you don't know what Ujjayi breathing is, it's not important. Just concentrate on slow, steady breathing. Then we're going to begin the count. So inhaling for 1, 2, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling 1, 2, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2, out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now continue at that pace, but counting in your head. And one of the reasons we elongate our exhale, so it's a 1-to-2 ratio, is because that slow, deep breathing is picked up on by the vagus nerve. And what happens is it sends a message to our heart to slow down, so it slows our heart rate, and it sends a message up to our brain that we are starting to wind down and relax, and we start to tap into our parasympathetic mode, which is our ideal default mode, but for most of us, that isn't the case day to day. So use this breath. See how that feels in the body. Now, if this feels comfortable, I'd like you to increase the count to 3 and 6. So let's do that together. So inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In for 1, 2, 3. Out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, continue. Try and follow that same steady pace. Notice how that feels. Is there an element of discomfort there? And can you work with that discomfort? Or do you feel you need to come back to 2 and 4? And it's really simply observing how that feels in the body, what you feel is best. And the more we get used to this, the more we can work with that sense of discomfort and stay with it instead of maybe avoiding it. But take your time. And naturally, to get a full exhale out to 6, we need to draw a full breath in 3, so in half the amount of time. But try not to force and pull it, just be aware of trying to fill up fully in that count of 3, and then exhale fully to the count of 6. And then if that feels okay, you can either stay as you are, you can return to 2 and 4, or we're going to move to 4 and 8. So this naturally will become more challenging. So on your inhale, start to breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 1, 2, 3, 4, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Apologies, I only went to 6 on the last one. So continue. So inhaling to 4 and then exhaling all the air out for 8. So again, looking at that 1-2 ratio. I'm going to do this for about a minute. And then release the breath. Just stay here with your eyes closed, breathing normally. Noticing how the body feels, noticing if there's a sense of calmness, a sense of softening in the body. And it's quite interesting to know that when we breathe in, that is more in tune with our sympathetic response, this sense of lifting in the body. And the exhale is more parasympathetic. So it's another reason why elongating the exhale has this sense of softening and letting go. So when you feel ready, start to move slowly, fingers, toes, maybe rubbing hands together. Maybe a gentle roll of the shoulders, a stretch of your neck, roll of your neck, whatever feels good. And then when you feel ready, reach up and stretch. Good stretch. If you're lying down, bring your knees in, roll to your side. And when you're ready, press down into your hands, come up to seated. And then once you're there, everybody's sitting up tall, feeling a softening in the shoulders, closing the eyes. Bring your hands into chin mudra, so index fingers and thumbs together. Just taking a couple of steady breaths slowly. Find a real softness and lightness to your breath. Bring your hands to your heart center. Namaste. Thank you.